Hi everyone, my name's Laura and I'm the Carpe Diem Stitcher. Welcome to my brand new channel where I hope to bring you stories of my dressmaking with a little bit of knitting and crochet thrown in. Today I thought I'd start off by talking about my sewing goals for 2022. So let's get into it. As I said, I thought I'd start off today by talking a little bit about my sewing objectives for 2022. But first of all, by way of a quick introduction to myself and to my new channel, my name's Laura. I'm originally from Yorkshire, as you might be able to tell by my accent, but I now live in Wales with my husband and our two cats, who are a pair of adorable ragdolls called Lovejoy and Lady Jane, and I'll try and pop a picture of them here so that you can see what they look like. And I suspect they'll probably put in the odd appearance as my channel progresses. So I thought I'd set up my channel because, like everybody else, we've been through the challenges of lockdown and just the general challenges that life throws at you while you're busy having lockdown. And I just kind of thought, well, you know what, I've fancied doing this for a little while now, and if not now, then when? So that's the reason for my channel. And I decided to call myself the Carpe Diem Stitcher because I pinched the term Carpe Diem from the film The Dead Poets Society with Robin Williams in it. And if you look up Carpe Diem Dead Poets Society on YouTube, you'll see a clip which shows why I picked the term Carpe Diem. So yeah, I decided I'd just go for it and see what happens. So that's me, and I thought I'd also share with you what I'm wearing today. And this is a Freya top. Some of you might already have guessed that. And it's from this book here, which is Stretch by Tilly Walnes, Tilly and the Buttons. And so that's the Freya top. And it comes in sizes. This is where I have to put my glasses on because I can't see anything without them this close up. It comes in sizes, size 1 to size 8 is Tilly's sizes. So the smallest size is a bust 30 inches, waist 24 inches and a hip 33 inches. And it goes up to 44-inch bust, waist 38 inches and hip 47 inches. So I made the 34-inch bust, which is size 3, but I graded out to size 4 at the hip, which is 37 inches. Sorry, 39 inches. So I'll stand up so you can see. I'll just put the book on the floor and hopefully you can see. If I move further back without knocking over my mannequin, you can see it just comes down to my hip. It's meant to be quite close fitting. I think as and when I make it again, I might make it a little bit longer in the body, because if I do try to tuck it in, it does feel a bit short and it just feels like it's coming out. And it is a Ponte Roma fabric from Minerva.com. I don't know if they have it anymore. If I can find it, I'll link it below if I can. Because this is my first video, I'm not too sure how much I can link in terms of linking other channels and websites, but I'll have a go. Yes, it's from Minerva, and I'll put their details below, even if I can't find the fabric. So that's what I'm wearing, and I do apologise if I keep looking over here. It's because I'm just checking my notes. So I thought I would set myself some sewing goals for 2022 rather than doing a make 9. I did think about doing a make 9 and I got it down to about a make 27, and then I thought that's probably not great. And the other reason that I decided not to do a make 9 is because I'm not entirely sure necessarily yet what clothes I'll need. So I just don't know. I don't know if I'm going on holiday. I don't know if I'm going on holiday, where I'm going on holiday. Like many people, I work full time. Like many people, I've been mostly at home during lockdown. and we're starting to go back in a little bit more now, but I don't know how much I'm going to be in, and I don't have to dress in a hugely formal manner even when I am in. So I think that really I'm better to set myself some overall objectives than to really kind of corral myself into making specific items on the whole at this point. So that's what I've decided to do. So here are, in no particular order, as they say on the Strictly results, my sewing objectives in 2022. So what I'll try and do is I'll try and link things as much as I can, and I'll try and insert pictures here of anything that I don't actually have the pattern to hand to wave at you. But what I propose I do is I'll talk about sizing as and when I make things, because at the moment I've got some patterns here that I might make or I might not. But if you've got any questions about the sizing of things, I've not mentioned them, but I've said I own the pattern. If you put a comment in the box below and you want to know what the sizing is, I'll happily tell you. Okay, so my first goal, which I've seen on a few Make 9s actually on YouTube, is to make some jeans. So this for me would definitely come in the upping my skills. I haven't actually yet made trousers other than pyjama bottoms, but I'd really like to try and make some jeans. And I already own, amazingly, I already own 3 jeans patterns, I think, or is it 4? 4 jeans patterns I own. And so option number 1 is the ginger jeans, and as you can see this is quite an old version of the pattern because it says closet case, and of course they're now closet core patterns, they've changed their name. So that's one pair of jeans that I've been wondering about, and these are for making in stretch fabric, stretch denim, twill or corduroy with at least 2% lycra. So that's the first option, and I think that was the first jeans pattern I bought. But then I saw TomKat Stitchery, Whitney, did a sew along for these jeans, and I really like the shape of these. I really like View B, which is a kind of bootleg. So this is a McCalls pattern. It's McCalls M5894, and I really like that, and I'm quite a visual learner, so I thought that this might be a good one for me to do because I could follow the sew along that Whitney did. So that's another alternative for me. And then the other 2 jeans patterns I already own, I can't actually hold up because I don't have them in hard copy. So one pair is the Mountain View jeans by Itch to Stitch, which kind of have a faux fly. So that might be an easier option initially. So they're a bit like a cross between a jeans and a jegging. So I'll try and pop a picture up of that one here. Again, Whitney I think has done a sew along on TomKat Stitchery. So that might be an option for me. And the final one is the Mia jeans, and they come in the City Break book from Sew Over It. So again, that's another one that I could look at. They're quite a skinny pair of jeans. So that was my options in terms of making jeans, but I might make something like the Sew Over It Ultimate Trousers, which I do have the pattern for, first, just as a kind of practice of doing trousers and trying to get fit first. So that's the first objective, to make some jeans. Second one is to try and do some hacking of patterns, and in fact I've already started. I've already got one cut out that I want to try and do. So you might have been noticing this is Olivia, my mannequin. The reason she's called Olivia is just because that's what the model of the mannequin is. That's when I got her, and I'll try and link her below if anybody's interested in trying to get hold of a mannequin. And Olivia is wearing a shirt that I made last year, and she's wearing the New Look 6407, which I first saw Michelle Sewing Bunny did a sew along for the pattern, and I just really liked the cuffs on the pattern. So I decided that I would have a go at that. I don't know if you can see, but they're kind of, might be easier if I use this one. Let's see if you can see that. So they just kind of flip open, so they're almost like they're on upside down, and I really like the cuffs on this. But on me, I think Olivia looks great in it, but on me, I'm less keen on me in the pattern. I'll see if I can put a picture up here, but I'm less keen on the neckline on me. However, I made another shirt. This was the first shirt I made, so you can see. And actually, this is made in some bedding that I got from a charity shop. I also made some scrubs for the NHS with the same set of bedding, so it's gone a long way. And I did this as a wearable toile, but actually I love it, so I wear it quite a lot. And so this is this pattern. It's the McCalls M7575, which is great because it's nice and easy to remember. And I made view B, I think, yeah, view B, but I just made it without the pockets. So I much prefer the way this shirt looks on me, and again I'll try and get some pictures and put them up here somewhere, but I much prefer the neck, and I really like the fit, although in the hack I'm about to talk you through, I have actually lengthened the body a bit because it doesn't feel terribly long on me, so I'm going to make it just a little bit longer. So what I've decided to do is to make the body of the McCalls M7575. I'll get used to this. I'll get the hang of it, don't worry. But I'm going to put the sleeves on of the other one, the New Look pattern, so that I'll still have the open cuff. And in fact, I've cut this out already, and I've cut it out in this. This is the yoke, I think. This beautiful cotton, navy blue cotton with the little floral sprigs on, which I think is really pretty. And that comes from Felicity Fabrics, who I'll try and link down below. I suspect they don't have this in stock anymore. I have a feeling I got one of the last bits. So that's all cut out and ready to go. So that's going to be an imminent sewing plan. So I've got that. So my next sewing objective is also, which is again a specific plan and kind of linked to this one. You'll probably find out more of this as I go on, but I really like making shirts. I don't know why. I think it's something to do with the need to be precise. I'm not sure. But I really enjoy it, and I've found, and in fact when I made the first shirt I didn't really follow the, whatever it was, McCalls pattern. I have got the shirts tutorial by the Stitch Sisters, which you buy online through their website. They've got a whole set of workshops that you can purchase, and I found that much easier. As I said, I'm quite a visual learner, so I found that much easier. So that's what I did really. I pretty much followed the tutorial. And my next shirt plan, which is a specific objective, is to make this shirt for my husband, and this is S9157 by Simplicity, and I'm going to make him the short sleeve version. I've made this before. I made it for my father for Christmas 2020, and I will put a picture of it on, it's actually on Olivia, on my picture, so I'll pop that up there. But happily, I've got all the pattern pieces traced out already, and my husband's the same size as my father, so that's going to be hopefully quite time saving. So yes, so that's my next objective. And in terms of shirts, there's a couple of Liesl & Co patterns that I've got my eye on, that I might also try to make up. So yes, shirts definitely. So my next goal is to try to make some activewear. So I have recently taken up running. I did the Couch to 5K, finally managed to finish it in August last year. Was nowhere near 5k by the time I finished it, but I think that's fairly normal. I can now do 5k, but I still can't do it in half an hour. So, but I thought at some point I would like to make myself some leggings and a hoodie. So I have got, and we'll try to put a picture here, I've got the PDF of the Love Notions Resolution bottoms, which have got about 5 different alternatives of jogging bottoms and leggings, and I managed to get them on one of their $5 Fridays, so that was a huge bargain. And I'm also thinking I'd quite like to make myself a hoodie, and I'm now regretting throwing the stretch book on the floor, because I would quite like to, I managed to open it at the right page, I'd quite like to make myself the Stella hoodie, I think, from this book. So that's the plan. Other alternatives, which I will try and pop up here because I've got the PDF patterns already but I haven't printed them out yet, are a couple by Ellie and Mac, which are really good stash buster looking patterns, which won't hurt at all because I've got lots of scraps and bits. So the two that I was looking at there are the undercover hoodie, which I'll pop up here, and the So Scrappy top, which also has a hoodie option. So that's another one that I might look at. So that's the next one. So that's Sewing Resolution. I think that was number 4. Next, I want to make some dungarees. Again, this is something I've wanted to do for a while, and I might actually do it before I do the jeans, because again, this might be something that's a bit more forgiving. So one pattern that I have already got is another Tilly and the Buttons, the Myla dungarees, and I've noticed now there's an add-on pack to create hip pockets. So that's something that I think actually I really like the look of, and I think it'll break up this front bit a bit. So that's one option. I also own the Sloan, what are they called? The Sloan overalls and pants, which are from Victory Patterns. The overalls really just look like, I mean, I would probably call them dungarees, but they've got an exposed zip all the way up the front. So I'm going to have to be very brave if I do that, obviously, because the zip doesn't want to be wonky. But I really like them because they remind me of some dungarees that I had when I was about 17, and they were in a kind of burgundy corduroy, and I really liked them then, and I'm hoping I'm not too old to wear something like that now. So again, that's another one that I'm looking at. And the third thing that I'm considering doing is to make the DIY dungas, which again is the Stitch Sisters, but that's a free tutorial. So they've got instructions on their blog on how to do them. They're called the DIY dungas, but they've also done a YouTube video on it, I think, subsequently. And they're much bigger, they're much looser. They remind me a bit of the Heyday Dungarees by Waves and Wild. So that kind of quite loose look. And I think one of them, I think it might have been Rachel, made hers out of some bedding, made it out of a quilt cover or something like that. And I've got a quilt cover, I'm pointing that way, you can't see it, but my stash is in a cupboard over there. So again, that's something I might think about doing. So I'll try and put the link to the Stitch Sisters tutorial in the description below. So my next resolution is to try to sew a bit more from books that I own. So I've got the two Tilly, the first 2 Tilly books. So I've shown you a couple of things from Stretch, but I don't have the Tilly Make It the Simple book, but I do have Love to Sew, and I've got the Stretch book, as you've just seen. But I've already made things from both of those, so I'm not so worried about trying to get my money's worth out of those, though I have mentioned the Stella that I might make from Stretch. But I have also got these 2 books, which I haven't sewn anything out of at all. So I've got so many dresses, so little time. And I did actually buy some fabric thinking I was going to make an outfit for a wedding out of this, and then, like lots of weddings, the wedding got postponed and postponed, and so in the end the dress that I might have been going to make for a May wedding wouldn't have worked for an October wedding. So I did make a dress for it, and I'll share that in a later video, but the plan that I originally had didn't come off. So yeah, so I haven't made anything out of this yet, but it's a book where essentially it gives you lots of different bodices and lots of different skirts, and you can put them together. And also, obviously she's not got sleeves here, but there are also different types of sleeve, so you can create a whole range of different dresses just from the one book. So I want to have a go at doing that at some point this year, but I haven't picked a particular one yet, because as I said earlier, I don't know what my needs are going to be in terms of dresses. So I'm going to wait, and when I find an occasion that I think I want to make a dress for, then I shall try and pick something from here. So I have that one, and I also have this one, which is a similar concept, and again by Victory Patterns, the ones who have done the Sloane pants, and this is Boundless Style, and it's the same principle. It's a number of different bodices and different skirts, and so you can kind of pick and mix and match. So again, I'd like to try that out. That was a Christmas present from my husband, not the Christmas just gone, Christmas 2020, and I just haven't made anything from it yet. So they're the two hard copy books that I would like to try and make something from. And the other three books that I would like to try to work through some of the patterns from this year are the three ebooks from Sew Over It, which I didn't own any about 4 months ago, and I now own all three of City Break, Work to Weekend and Summer Dreaming, because they've had some really good offers. So I bought City Break, I think around Black Friday time, and then I got an email from them offering me a discount on other ebooks, I think, and so I got Work to Weekend, and then I got Summer Dreaming in a sale somewhere around Christmas or early January. So my initial thoughts, again it depends really what I end up doing during the year, but I bought originally, I bought the City Break book to make the Molly top. I really like the look of the Molly top and the Molly dress, and of course I've mentioned that that also has the Mia jeans in it, so that's also a possibility. And then from Work to Weekend there's the Kate dress and the Erin tee. So I'll probably have to put links, I think, to the actual books in the description box below, because I'm not sure I can actually put pictures of the makes up. But I will put links to the books. And then there is, from the Summer Dreaming book, there's the Sorrento denim jacket, which is really why I bought the book, because I really like the look of the jacket, or the Porto jumpsuit. So they're the thoughts that I was having there. But I think it's really easy to end up concentrating on paper patterns and also on PDFs and just forget about the books that you have. So I really want to make an effort to try to use those this year. So that's the next one. That was to sew from books. Then also, if I'm going to spend more time in the office, I'm in a shared office with two other people, and so because of COVID we have to have the windows open, and when the windows are open it gets a bit cold, so I thought I needed to make some more warmer tops, really, just to keep me warm. I can get away with wearing jeans to work if I want to most of the time, but I just thought it would be useful just to have some warm tops, because you go to meetings and the windows are open and you end up looking as if you're terrified of what's going on in the meeting, just simply because you're frozen. So I have the Butterick 6388, and I have already made this dress, so I will put a picture up. And what I'm hoping to do is make the top, which I think is view C, and I already have some fabric for that. So that's the first of these plans. And then I have, this is actually a pattern that comes free if you get Prima magazine, which I don't, but a friend of my mother's does, and she very kindly gets the sewing pattern for me, and my mum sends it down to me every month, which is lovely, and it's a nice surprise to find out what the pattern is. And I think I'm going to try and do a kind of coatigan, so somewhere between those two lengths, just to try and keep me a bit warmer. And then the third one I don't have in hard copy yet. Oh, I do, I have printed it out, but it's somewhere over there. And it's the hot coffee top, which is by, well, it's now Waves and Wild, but I've got the old version, so I've got it from when they were still made by Jack's mum, and that's a kind of crew neck top, or I think you can do it in different necklines. So again, that's something, it's another pattern that I've had for ages, and I'd quite like to try and have a go at, so I'll try and pop a picture up there if I can. So yes, warm clothes is another of my challenges or goals. And then I've got the kind of general objective, which is really to try to sew some more from my stash. So I don't have an absolutely enormous stash, but I do have a fairly big stash. I've got probably more jersey than woven fabrics. And it's also grown quite a lot recently because a lovely neighbour was looking to get rid of some fabric, and she just gave me a huge box of it. So that was really kind. So I'm busy working my way through looking at that and thinking about what I can make. And in fact, the shirt for my husband is going to be made from some of her fabric. So I'm looking to try and sew through my stash, and I think I'll try and do another video about that separately and talk about that another time. But actually I think I'm a worse pattern addict than I am fabric addict. I've got so many patterns, and I, interestingly, putting this video together, other than mentioning the 2 Liesl & Co shirts that I said I was interested in making, I haven't actually talked about any pattern that I want to purchase and don't yet own. Everything I've talked about I already own, so, and that's barely scratching the surface of the ones I've got, so definitely think I need to try and work through making up some more of those patterns. And then I think, just checking, yeah, I'm on to my final objective, which is to try to take part in some of the fabulous challenges that other YouTubers and Instagrammers have set for the year. So I do spend quite a lot of time following the Sew Over 50 hashtag on Instagram, and they have a Make a Garment a Month challenge, which I do try to put a photo up for. So that's a kind of ongoing thing. But specifically in terms of challenges for this year, I'm really interested. I picked out 3. 2 of them are actually happening in March. So the first of those, you probably know if you watch a lot of channels on YouTube. The first one is the one that was Frugal Frocks last year, and it's been renamed this year. It's now So Frugal 2022, and that's being run by Ruan, who is the Yorkshire Sew Girl, and Sam, who is Frugalissima. And again, if I can, I'll link their channels down below. But they are widening the challenge this year so that you can pick, you still have to pick, you have to pick a pattern which is free, but I think last year it had to be a dress, and actually that's part of the reason I didn't do it last year, because I don't really have that much need for dresses in my life. Now you can do any garment, and you are also asked to pick a fabric that's already in your stash to make it, so that you are doing it frugally. So I'll try and put a link up if I can. but my plan would be to do a video with what my plans are nearer the time. So hopefully, I mean, that's the gist of the challenge anyway. I know they're tweaking the rules slightly for this year, and as I said, some of it's widening it out to be a garment. So hopefully I've got the basics right, and I'm sure there'll be loads of videos by YouTubers explaining that more precisely. And then the second of the challenges that I'm going to do is again something that ran last year, and this is Sew Yellow for Endo, which is run by the lovely Jess, who is So What If I Sew on Instagram and on YouTube. And so this is to raise awareness and some funds for endometriosis. So the challenge is to make something that is yellow in March. And so I'll link her channel down below. So I did do that last year, and I'll try and put up a picture of the top. I made a top last year. I made the Iris Tee by Forget Me Not Patterns. So I did do that one last year, and I want to do it again this year. And the final one that I've picked out, which again is a bit more general, it's a bit more like the Make a Garment a Month, and that's Sew Your Colours 2022, which is being run by Halesmore Sewing. So she's over on Instagram and also here on YouTube, and that's to try and sew within your colour palette. So she's come up with a website that you can do your colours through for free. You can get a kind of basic colour palette, and then the challenge is to try to actually sew within your colour palette. And again, I think that's something I'll do a separate video about, but yeah, so those are the three challenges. So those were the sewing objectives that I've set myself for 2022, and I'll try to come back in December and we'll see how I got on with them and did I actually do them. So what do you think? Do you have any sewing challenges or objectives that you're aiming for 2022? I know quite a lot of you have done Make 9, and I've watched loads of fantastic videos about that. Do you share any of my sewing objectives? If you've got suggestions for other patterns, not that I need encouragement to buy patterns, but if you've got suggestions for other patterns, I'd love to hear them. And then I just wanted to mention, before I disappear, other things that I thought I might do for future videos. So I might try to aim to do Friday sews in future. I think that would be good to try to kind of give myself a target. I do work full time, so I can't promise that I'm going to get a video in absolutely every week, and it also obviously depends on my sewing output. But what I thought I'd try and do next is to pick some questions from some of those seamstress or sewing tags that I've seen on Instagram, and maybe go through and answer some of those, because I thought, being a new channel, it might be a good way for you to get to know me and find out a bit more about what I've made in the past. I might do a bit of a review of some of my more recent sewing makes, things I made in 2021. And I'll probably do something about my imminent sewing plans. Sorry about that, I thought my video had stopped because I could see a message came up on my phone and it just said you've reached the maximum recording time, which just goes to show how long I've waffled for at you. But yes, I was just saying that I think I'm not at this point likely to say these are my sewing plans for the coming month. I'm much more likely to pick, say, 3 or 4 items and say these are the next things that I'm planning to sew, because I don't always know that I'm going to get through things in a month, and I want this channel to be fun. I want to try and do videos regularly for you, but I think there's things I can do that don't necessarily rely on my having to have made a load of stuff within a month. So you haven't yet seen my sewing room, although I think I might have to tidy it before you do. I've talked about reviewing patterns that I've done before, perhaps, or doing comparisons. So for example, I've made the Mandy Boat Tee by Tessuti Patterns, and I'm going to make the Erin in the Work to Weekend Sew Over It ebook, and they're both boat neck tees, so I thought I could do a bit of a comparison if that would interest you. So yes, so I think there's things I can do that don't necessarily involve my committing to making so many things within a month. Hopefully I'll make enough that I can bring you recent makes fairly frequently, even though if it's not every month. But I do want my channel to be fun, but because I work full time, I don't want to put undue pressure on myself to say I've absolutely got to get a video out every week and it's absolutely got to have huge amounts of new sewing output. And I hope you understand that. But I've been really inspired by all the other YouTubers who I see who've clearly got really busy lives and still managed to hold down doing a YouTube channel. So I'm inspired by all you people out there. Thank you for inspiring me, and I'm going to give this a really good go, and hopefully you'll enjoy the content. The other thing I thought I'd do is a video on reviewing my stash to see how well it actually already fits with the Sew Your Colours 2022, and to see what gaps I've got and where I might actually look to buy more fabric. Who knew? So if there's anything else you'd like to see me do a video about, please comment below, and if you'd like to hear more from me and you've enjoyed this content, then please do subscribe. I'd love to have you along on my sewing journey. Thanks for listening, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye.